Hello there everybody and welcome to episode 1 of my tutorial series for the Matchless Kung Fu. This is going to be a let's play gameplay guiding series like the many I did before. So we're going to go over all the things that has the game in store for us so far. I'm going to do my best to explain it to you and we're going to have some fun together while doing so. Now, first of all, I want to mention that this game has a evolving world. I literally just deleted all my data before I started this series, as the character that we create here will form the world, and just like in a roguelike fashion, once that character dies, we get to create a new one that will proceed living in that world. That's why I started from scratch. The other thing is, in the current version of the game, I cannot turn off the tutorials, so while I am making a tutorial, I am going to play with you through the in-game tutorial, because that's what we have to do. I'm very sorry about that. I really tried to change it, but wasn't possible for so I was known. So, without further ado, let's get started with creating our character. So, you here see a number, that's your karma points, and at the start you only can select one of these two things. I personally vouch for chi for your very first character. Later, for other characters, this is not as important anymore, but starting out with that, it's really much better than being able to withstand a couple of blows more. More about that later. There's tons of other things that you can unlock here, things that your subsequent characters then can use as their starting foundation. But for us here currently we only have these two selections. I'm sticking with Chi, gonna explain why later. Parents can also be selected later from a variety of people that have a home in your world. Currently, just that one option being an orphan, because we're literally the first person on that world, so to speak. So, now we're going to randomize that look until we have something bearable, or in your case, of course, feel free to create yourself a proper looking guy, lady. We're going to roll for... Sheesh, doesn't really get better, does it? Well, I could, of course, select something nifty good looking, but I will stick to... Come on, give me something that doesn't look too gross. Yeah, well, let's just stick with that. Of course, you can go for whatever you want here. I don't need to explain a character generator at this point. It's visuals only, and after we have created a character, later, as you see here, there's other options that are currently denied. We can only play this character here. So we're entering the Great Wilds, and supposedly it's my first playthrough, so the game will explain a lot to me, as I will explain to you. Well, here we have an intro, and our character starts here on that little boat, and we're going to skip the novice guide. So control-wise, as you see here, WASD, right mouse button to while holding to move the camera, mouse wheel to zoom. It's very basic, and once you've played a few of these games working out like that, you knew them all. But you see that Jingong training above my head. I hope this is properly pronounced. Please don't hate me too much if not. And you see now this plopped up, and we'll learn something. Let's check that out. In our ability skill, we have now learned to jump by walking. By jumping, we now learn to climb. And this game is full with these learning by doing things. And after climbing, learning to climb, we can learn something else by climbing. You see there this white bar? That's our stamina. If we press X to meditate, as you see there, it fills back up. So, the game now tells us to interact with somebody. That's the dude living in that hut here. Saying hi to him, pressing F while standing next to him. Oh, that's interacting with his field. There we go. So here we have lots of interaction options. I'm going to go over the social menu of the game later when it's time for that. For now, we're just going to say hi and compliment the other person for their looks. Yeah, that's something we can do. So now we build up a little bit of trust because, hey, good looking. How's life? That's basically what we did. So now we move on up to this tree. You see there's a chop command and there's is technique training. So punching the tree teaches us how to use our fists. And once that bar is full, the first in-game tutorial pops up explaining us the combat system. So I'm going to do a better job in explaining this than the game, so let's go on. We see here HP from us, HP from the enemy, basically. And over here you see what kind of moves your enemy wants to do. A kick and a punch. So here we're now getting hand-fed our moves. I'm going to explain it in a hot second what we did there. And then we attack. So what we're seeing here is a so-called Omni move, and that allows you to connect attacks. So if we pick up the kick, it's holding down my left mouse button, you see the other option disappears, because we can only follow up now either with another kick or something else. So this is kind of a utility piece. So we use this to be allowed to do another option after that. This is pretty much everything that this little tutorial tries to teach us. Nothing more behind that. So we keep punching the tree until the technique training fills up yet again. And we even have our fan here. And now the next lesson comes in form of combos. So combos are pretty simple. When we string up subsequent attacks, just like that, you see we received a bonus combat icon out of that. Just like that, picking this up. Now we follow up with the Omni move, and now we had a pretty long string of attacks. That's how it goes. So this way we can utilize copies of the same attack. And there's also special attacks. So whenever we manage to get 5 kicks in a row, we unlock groin kick, which allows us the that's a groin kick. I mean, I don't think I need to explain much about it, don't we? So, we have now the job to do that several times. It's pretty simple. We pick up all the kicks, we get an extra kick to fulfill the groin kick, we put up the punch for good measure, and you see, we're doing a lot of damage. So, what the game doesn't really explain to us here at that point is that there is a interaction between all these moves. So that means if we'd had a weapon attack, we'd be able to counter that punch. If we use a punch into a kick, we counter that kick, and so on and so forth. This relationship is something we're going to use later a lot more. The game will also explain it to us, of course, but I wanted to give you a little bit of a view ahead. And yeah, currently, because we're in a tutorial, we're not beating the enemy while we're doing this. I mean, I could also just give up the tutorial, but who would I be? Now, after doing this tutorial, we unlocked the groin kick. So let's gear this up. And you click there, and you just slot it in there. These skills can be advanced with Kung Fu Insight, that's basically experience points, which allows you to gear up the power of these skills. So this thing deals 2 times the damage of my kick attack. So it becomes better as my kick attack damage becomes better. What's also really worth noting is that this thing here has 5 feet icons. This also leads to me drawing more foot icons during the combat, because basically you have the icons on the battlefield in accordance to the skills that you have equipped. Over here you see what kind of counters you have available. So we have a fist and a palm and 6 kicks. So 5 of these are originating from there. Okay, so we're being cheered up even more. So let's keep punching the tree until the next tutorial shows up. It pays off to just be very, very diligent with all the resources here. As you see here, even licorice plucking is teaching us Kung Fu. You know, Kung Fu is in everything in this game. So, changeable moves. So this is a Mutator piece. So there you see, if we pick up this, any other next move will be transformed into a kick. We follow up with another Omni piece to play all the tokens on the board, and then we unlock the face slap, which requires 2 palms and a kick. So this tutorial's goal is to teach us how to transmute things. So I mean, it is necessary as we only have palms. We wouldn't be having the necessary kick. We don't have any piece left, and as you see here, if there is no piece left, Omni doesn't do anything. Omni doesn't create pieces, Omni just links pieces. So here our job is very simple. We have to transmute these. Oh, wait a sec. First do the slab, and then charge up a new one. Oh no, we only needed to do this twice. So we completed a trial. And now we get to unlock a new area, and we get a blessing, which is sort of a level up in the furthest stretch. So we can here either upgrade our combat attack damage, which is really legit. We can pick up more chi. Currently, we don't even know what we need that for. Or other damage types. This is always different. Vigor is also one thing that you could pick, that is HP basically. We are going to pick up in this scenario just the kick damage because for the sake of tutorials. Now, face slap, that's that. I mean, you could also pick up chi points, whatever fits to your liking. I personally recommend at the very beginning to pick up vigor, as HP are really invaluable. Alright, we also get now to unlock a new terrain piece. So, like I said in the beginning, we are unlocking the world bit by bit. Over here, we get to select what kind of bit of the world we are going to put up now. So either the Skyland Village, Maple Manor, or Eagle Hunt platform. You also see what kind of resources you can harvest there, or what kind of monsters are around there, or Enlightenment Stones. Enlightenment Stones are areas where you can learn new Kung Fu, and every piece of land, or almost every piece of land, comes with its own trial objectives. So, for example, here we see that we have to acquire an Inu Kung Fu, and we have to help other people before we have fulfilled that task. So we're going to go and pick up the Eagle Hunt platform, and that is going to be the next lot that we put up there. And as you see there, we have now expanded the world. Congratulations, my old chap. You did it. So, that is, in basics, how we fight and how we develop our land. We should now totally pick up some of that resource up here, as this is really getting you somewhere. And all these resources here will be desperately needed. This game, though, is in itself a sandbox game, and you decide what you're going to do or what you're not going to do. Here, this platform on this lot, you should totally get here and melt away one of these rocks. As you see, there is a nice little reward behind it. So, we pick up in the hidden casket a Tortoise Fist manual. This one, press B to use it, as you see there. Use. And this teaches me a new skill. New skills always trigger a mini tutorial where you ought to show the computer that you know how to trigger that thing. I mean, in this scenario, it is fairly easy, as the Tortoise Fist skill needs a couple of fists in succession, and then we have 7 attacks consecutively, dealing 5 damage at a time. There we go. It's a full-on beginner skill, only useful early on, as it doesn't scale with your basic stats. This one is 7 times and a fixed damage, so it's not nearly as powerful as other skills, but now, as we are very early, I think it is a very, very nice one. It's very, very important to stress out that in this game, you learn it by doing. Everything you do brings you some sort of a learning experience, and once you notice that you don't learn anything by doing things anymore, it's okay to stop them and only do them as necessary. But before that, try to grind out whatever you can. So the very first thing that we're going to create us is a bamboo mat. This is something we should totally have on us, as it is really, really powerful. As you see here, we also gain crafting insight, which is basically crafting XP. And we also gained a bit of crafting experience for reals, as, like I said, learning by doing. The bamboo mat will be placed on the ground like that. So you can do it like this, and then you can use it to rest up. And that you another inner kung fu by sleeping. Inner Kung Fu is a passive skill system. It's basically the skills that are permanently active. We're going to check this system now out. So we acquired the breathing skill, which doubles the vigor recovery, which is really, really useful. So I am going to explain that myself. Thank you, game. So here we have Chi, and here we have the breathing skill, and here we have lots of different symbols. To activate breathing skill, we now need to go and activate these icons. So you click on the center, and we go here, to there, and to there. As you see, the line follows you there, and we have now activated successfully breathing skill. To get this to do anything for you, though, this needs to be piped back to the center. Circle must be closed, always. Otherwise, this chi stuff won't be doing anything for you. So you won't be experiencing any benefits of these skills before the circle has been closed. We're going to break that again by just double clicking it. And the trick here is now we activate this in order. Order matters for these skills. And now we just try to jump through as many of these hoops as possible before we reconnect. As each and every one of these guys, as you see here, is yielding special abilities. Maximum load, attacks, vigor. So each of these icons has an own value in itself. So you should always try to get as much connected out of the chi board as possible. Not only those skills, it would be a real waste if you don't take the full-on potential there. So that is the reason why I recommended the high chi value as your starting thing, because this gives you a nice set of base stats. Especially your carrying capacity and all those things are influenced by these, and this makes the early game a lot more easy. So when you're done with your bamboo mat, you press recycle. That doesn't destroy it, although it does imply that. No, you get it back into your inventory, and now you click down there, first on the one, and then on the bamboo mat, and now we can... game, please. Yeah, so it is configured, but it seems a bit bugged. So I know that this is the way how to assign things to the hotbar, but for some reason it doesn't want to click in. I'm going to check that between the episodes. If you know what I'm doing wrong now, I was just not patient enough, just like I thought. Yeah, now you can use it from the game itself by clicking down there. Pressing 1 doesn't do anything. Having a bamboo mat active on your character is really useful, as you have with this the capability of healing yourself whenever you need to. By the way, falling damage is a thing, so jump wisely. So you could now, of course, get over there and get all into the crafting minigame. Could create yourself a broken bowl, wooden fences, wine jars, bamboo mats, whatnot. We are going to continue today's episode with the eagle hunting platform, and I want to show you this system. So over here we have a trial. Our trial is to gather 3 feathers, find the hidden chest, and acquire via the Enlightenment Stone in this area. I don't know what we need to acquire or if we need to click the Enlightenment Stone, but you always get a summary of what you need to do. Up here we have those pillars, which are insurmountable if we don't have a climbing ability. Look at when we do that already. And there's growing wild Rami, I don't know how to pronounce that. So we go upstairs here. And as you see there, the other pillars are laced with brambles. These brambles hurt. You don't want to touch them. You could touch them, though, for pain training, sort of. It's seriously a thing. As far as I remember, being hurt also does increase your skills. Here, for example, meditating long enough teaches another technique, and it's really important at the beginning of the game. Whenever you notice that your game fills a bar while you're doing something, it is just really important to do so. So here we get the surprise move thing taught. So whenever we play 3 different things in a succession, we gain an extra token. So there we go. This is another method of creating extra tokens. So we have now the deliver over 6 moves. That's our job now. So we have the opportunity to create more moves by doing combo moves or by doing surprise moves. So here in this scenario, we need the surprise move. So first up, we need the slap. Then we transform one of the slaps into a kick. And then we pick up one of the fists. And then we created a surprise move. Now we have fists and enough of these create more of that stuff. So I didn't count there how many we did. Was that enough? So let's do that one more time. So that's that. Here goes that. And connect that. Goes into a surprise move, and that's that. Goes into another surprise move because we fulfilled the combo move now. That's how it's supposed to be done. So that's that. So a surprise move is an option if you just have a lot of different jumble on the battlefield, whereas combo move is good if you have a lot of identical things. And as you see here, we didn't need to hit the thing here from the beginning. Latching onto the edge of it was good enough. So we have our first battle up ahead of us. This thing is going to be our first fight. Luckily, these birdos are beatable with your beginner Kung Fu. Now, here you see what your enemy is going to be doing, and this is not a training situation anymore. We would die if we'd screw it up. So ideally, we want to counter the enemy's moves as thorough as possible. The sword moves get countered by kicks, and the kicks get countered by punches. So we have kicks and punches. That is pretty good. So let's move forward. Kick. Come on, game. Don't disturb me. We use a kick, and as you see here, it counters it. We use another kick. So we can now see that the rest is X'd out. That's because we've countered 50% of the enemy moves, and that means we've broken through his move, and we're going to slap him hard for the remainder of the turn. So you always need to counter your enemy to a certain degree. On the other hand, though, if we'd be picking now fists, we would get countered. As you see here, our move is being struck through. That means his move is countering ours. So always try to pick up the most effective things, or at least neutral. You know, we could play into the sword here. Well, alright, the sword is not neutral to anything, but some of these, for example, the fist and the palm stand in no relationship to each other. That means you can perfectly use them to each other. They just don't counter each other or anything like that. They're just neutral to each other. Correct me where I stand wrong, please. This is as horrible as Feng Shui from Amazing Cultivation Simulator, just with martial arts. If you know, you know. Anyways, let's get back to topic. We want to counter this bloke with 2 kicks, which we did. And now to do a proper combo move, we're lacking the options, so we cannot do that. We can, though, latch up the things here and do a bit of that. That's the best move we can do. So let's give that bird a couple of punches. And we've also unlocked the face slap, which deals double the palm attack damage. Moves like these don't let the enemy act on you. Just get to use them. You can just use them as often as you have charges for these. So this allows you to just deal more damage. Usually, your ideal course of action is to counter the enemy's moves and try to charge up one of your skills. And that's how we win battles. So let's see what we can do to this poor birdie. So we can transform something into a kick, but as you see here, we have no four units of any attack, so we just link it up like that. It's not ideal, but it ain't bad either. We are just starting out and we don't have that many move tokens available, so you shouldn't be too worried about if things don't work out as intended. We are expanding our build the more we play. So, yeah. Later tutorial, later. So now we get to talk about defensive moves. Yeah. This one allows you to copy the next move for the next turn. So there are only 5 fists. Use Def Mode to copy moves for the next turn. So there we go. And we cast that. And it leads to us having one more of these symbols. This is really good as it allows you to just bank on these to have more of the same when you need it. This is another element of your battle, which allows you to... how to put it? You can create yourself a situation in advance, which makes it easier to have the necessary charges for your move. Because currently, we don't really have, and you see here, we can have two defensive moves. Can have to copy 2 moves later down the road. We will get a lot more complicated skills the longer we play. The stuff we got right now is really beginner level and doesn't need too many charges. But when you start playing the game longer, some of these skills will really get quite complicated to be strapped up. Right now, we just can be happy by transforming a couple of things just into the according moves, and we're good with that. So we can now, for example, create ourselves another kick more, so we have a better chance of creating kicks. And as you see there, we successfully used a surprise move and a combo move. And next turn it will be even easier due to the defensive move option that we got there. Let's give that buddy a groin kick. And that's how you beat eagles. So, this guy, we can loot him, of course. I think I forgot to loot the other guy. That's the feathers we require. We also pick up all manner of other things, and yeah, it's a Chinese game, so we are looting poo again. I don't know what the hell it is with those people. Whenever I play Chinese sandbox games, there's literal poop somewhere showing on up. It is just what it is. I don't know why. Maybe somebody can explain the cultural affinity to this trope. But here's an enlightenment stone. Enlightenment stones will teach you all manner of different kung fu moves, and they are quite desirable. But they are by no means the only source for these moves. Often you can acquire the move from another sensei, whatever, whoever, you get the idea. Sadly, I can't read any Chinese. I don't know what cool things were posted down there. We just have learned a new skill due to the Enlightenment Stone, and that is what it brought it to us. So, yeah, here. So I don't know if we, I'm confused because I can't read the Chinese. So we get to upgrade one of our skills. Yeah, well, why not? I mean, as you see here, upgrading works like that. Makes the skill hit harder. Thank you, game, for using up my resources. So, we can also jump doubly now. That is something we learned on top of that. And there's one thing that I wanted to show you here. Bionic Eagle. There is how to acquire defeat eagle. So the more eagles we defeat out here, we will ultimately learn a new skill. And we gain a new skill here out of that chest, the causal palm. And that was the last thing we needed to do for this field. And that's how we make progression. I'll be picking up Vigor for the next one, as maximum HP are, in my opinion, quite invaluable. Damage is, of course, also quite nice, but, well, it's all easier if you just survive, and if you are new to the game, having some extra HP to tank it out is never a bad thing. Alrighty, my friends, I'll be closing it out by punching some bird for you, and I hope you enjoyed this one. I'm doing my best to make things here as understandable as possible. This game is quite a lot to take in. The combat system confused the hell out of me when I was new. I'm really happy that the devs made it a little bit more easily overlookable, as now we got this wonderful counters here, down there, combo move, surprise move. That was not a thing when I started out playing this. Nuh-uh. It's wonderful, and it'll help you to get into the game's vibe, and the longer you play it, the more wonderful it grows. So, Episode 1 ends with that punched eagle, and I hope you enjoyed yourself and I was able to give you a bit of an understanding. Next time we are going to go over whatever's next up on the plate. I cannot really foresee anymore because I have not really that much memories of it, but we are going to see that. So, up until then, my friends of cultivation, thanks for watching. Drop me your comments down below, leave a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and of course, in the description box, you'll find plenty of links. I'll be dropping down a playlist link for the remainder of the series, alongside with my Discord server. Feel free to hang out with me there, and of course, there's also Twitch, streaming every Sunday evening in the Middle European time zones there, and of course, Patreon, PayPal, and Buy Me a Coffee. I'd be delighted if you gave them a look. There's also a channel membership system now on my channel. No paywall content ever. You just get to watch stuff a little bit earlier when I have pre-scheduled it. But apart from that, the channel membership is just a way of supporting the channel. If you'd feel like doing so, I'd be super happy about that. If not, thank you for watching. And that's the most important thing. Enjoy Kung Fu, my men and ladies, and everyone who doesn't feel addressed by that. You, of course, as well. And yeah, have a good one. We'll see each other on the next episodes when we are going to explore this world of Kung Fu a little bit more. And can't wait. See you there. Goodbye.